Welcome back, everyone. This is the Ahsan Raza podcast. We've got a returning guest on the show today from the Zahra Trust Foundation, Mr. Abbas Jafri. Welcome, Abbas.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing, man?
Thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you for having me again, man. I appreciate it.
So, as you guys know, Abbas needs no introduction, right? Everyone knows him. MashaAllah, he's doing a great job with Zahra Trust. But if you can just kind of give us an introduction on what inspired you to take on the role of head of donor relations with Zahra Trust.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I mean, for us, we always try to find some kind of work where it doesn't feel like work, where you feel like, when you wake up in the morning, it's like, you feel like you're doing something valuable, honorable, and you're making a difference. So I thought that this was kind of the best of both worlds. I'm trying to help my dunya by helping people in this world and help my akhirat at the same time, the hereafter. And I thought that this is kind of one of the best jobs and giving back to society, right? You see how like fortunate we are sometimes living in this part of the world, and we see how much Allah has given us. And then you hear all these stories about all these, just heartbreaking images and videos, and you see these trials and tribulations that people go on in other parts of the world. And you always tell yourself, how can I give back? And when I saw this opportunity, I jumped at it right away. And I'm like, I couldn't really think of a better fit for myself as well. And just kind of my background and my involvement in the community, and, how many like places I've attended, and I thought I could really, make a difference. So, I thought that this was the perfect fit, so I went for it.
Yeah, and just like your reach in the community, like I've seen over the years, like you've got, mashallah, an amazing reach, and that goes a long way. So,
well, thanks to guys like you. I mean, you've been
this is just
one of the
platform.
staunch supporters of the Zahra Trust. I mean, I've been to your networking events here. You've been a supportive of our projects, been very supportive whenever I call you and need you for help. And you always refer the Zahra Trust to other people as well. So, I mean,
absolutely. It's just collaboration.
I'm just as thankful and grateful to the community.
No, you're welcome as well. But no, it's collaboration. And, Zahra Trust, like I've gotten to know more about the foundation the last 2-3 years, and obviously with our mutual friend Zahid as well, and he's educated me on that as well. But for those who don't know, talk about the mission of Zahra Trust, what it's about, what is your motives, and who are you really helping out there?
Yeah, sure. So, we're a humanitarian aid organization, right? And if I had to boil it down, I would say we're focused on maybe 3 main areas. Number one would be the emergency aid, where, God forbid an emergency comes up. Like, for example, in Parachanar, Pakistan, when there were attacks happening, we were able to have our own team on the ground attend to those families of the victims, those who are wounded in the hospital, and provide just regular aid as much as we can. Medical aid, food, if they need shelter, we provide that with them. Any sort of things, essentials that they need on a daily basis, we try to provide as much as possible. Unfortunately, what happened with Lebanon, it's not a secret. Families were displaced all over the Middle East. Yeah. So, what's really huge with us is that we have teams on the ground. So the response time is quite immediate. Yeah. So if they need aid or any sort of assistance whatsoever, we're there for them on an emergency basis. Even with the Yemen flood, there was a flood that happened in Yemen earlier in 2024. Again, we were able to dispatch a team right away and help those families who had homes destroyed, who had nothing to eat because of the destruction. And so we were trying our best just to make sure that they're taken care of as quickly as possible to the best of our ability, because the resources, when an emergency happens like that, the resources become a little scarce. So, we try to make it as helpful as possible. And I mean, I can't say enough about our team on the ground. It's amazing. So that's the first thing, the emergency aid. Secondly is just our regular humanitarian aid that we provide, like food, water, shelter, on an ongoing basis to our beneficiaries who are registered with us. And thirdly is, which I find something really unique about us, is microfinancing projects, self-sustainability, where we try to have our beneficiaries leave the cycle of poverty and become a little bit more independent. For example, we have something called the Rickshaw Project, right? And this is in our country of Iraq. I'll talk about our countries where we operate. But for example, the Rickshaw Project is in the country of Iraq, where, for example, for $3,000 Canadian is the cost of a rickshaw. In Iraq, it's called a satuta. It's like a three-wheeled bike type of thing. So what happens is that somebody donates $3,000. We then purchase a satuta or a rickshaw for the beneficiary, and then they on a payment plan for 15 months. They'll give us a payment plan and use the rickshaw or the satuta, and then they'll give it. Once we get the full payment, they own it. Now they can use that for transportation of goods, transportation of people, earn an income, earn a living, and try to provide for their family. And that money that we get back, it's 15 months to $3,000, we reinvest that into another satuta for somebody else. So it's like a whole cycle, right? And then we have food gardens. People plant grains and fruits and vegetables where they sell. We try to have vocational classes like skills training, like for example, like widows and orphans who just like know how to sew and embroider designs. And what would be really cool is that they can use that to sell to other people. So this microfinancing where they're able to really earn a living and provide for them and their families is something that's huge for us. And just really quickly about the areas of operation, about 5 major countries that we operate is Iraq, Lebanon, Afghanistan, Yemen, and Pakistan. Like these are 5 major countries that we have people on the ground ready to serve. And then we do partner in other countries like India and Africa and things like that. And our reach is growing right now for Ramadan coming up, of course, our busiest time of the year. But these are the 5 main areas that we operate.
So speaking of Ramadan, actually, so now we're a week away from Ramadan as of today's date, I think February 24th.
Yeah.
How do you guys ramp up for the Ramadan season?
Yeah.
And where are you guys focused now, and how are you getting the word out for donations?
Yeah, I mean, we've already updated our website. If you go to zahratrust.ca, www.zahratrust.ca, the Ramadan campaign has already been launched earlier this month. Like we start halfway through Sha'ban. Okay. So if they go there, they'll see all of the campaigns that we're running currently, and just prep time. I mean, we prepare for Ramadan 3-4 months in advance, right? And what we do is we try multiple ways to try to gain funds as much as possible. Like we'll go visit different mosques. Like I'll be here in Toronto. We have some volunteers in Ottawa. We have some volunteers in Vancouver, Edmonton, things of that nature, who will be visiting mosques, setting up tables in the key nights, like for example the 10th of Ramadan, and then of course Laylatul Qadr nights, the huge nights. We're there, so we try to give opportunities for people to give during that time. We have, mashallah, there are influencers, social media influencers, who have agreed to fundraise for us. Alhamdulillah, we do that way. And then there's like Quranathons that we do in different countries that we operate. In the US, I know they're running a marathon, for example.
Oh, nice.
We're just doing a whole bunch of ways. And then, of course, the regular giving that our website's always open, right? So we try to do our everyday way that we do through our website, and then e-transfer that people give, sadaqah and all that stuff. And then we have our kind of unique ways, like the social media influencers, the mosque hopping, these Quranathons and things of that nature. And of course, we do have, that reminds me, let me plug 2 live fundraising shows that we have. Very quickly, we have 2 live fundraising shows that are going to be happening during the month of Ramadan. One will be on March the 8th, Saturday, March 8th, from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then Saturday, March 22nd, from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Inshallah, we will start advertising that very quickly, and both will be on Heather TV.
Okay. You mentioned that in the captions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Heather TV, Saturday, March 8th, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then Saturday, March 22nd, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Here in Canada, inshallah.
So will that be like a live? Like you'll be there. You're gonna.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there, and then we have hosts, and then we have guests coming up.
Nice.
We have reciters, inshallah, and then we show videos. We show packages. There's 2 hours, like it's jam packed.
Nice.
Like 2 hours go by very fast, because it's just boom, boom, boom on the go. People go on the donation link. They'll give in. They'll call in as well, which is really cool. Like people have. Like parents will have their grandchildren, grandparents will have their grandchildren, and parents will have their children call in and donate in that way. So it really, encourages people to give, because Ramadan is, you fast. It's all about spirituality, right, and getting close to Allah. And of course, giving charity is so big for Ramadan, right?
So it's a big month for you guys.
Yeah, we encourage a lot of people to give during that month.
You mentioned that you had gone to Iraq and a couple of other places.
Yes.
So I assume that was for Zahra Trust.
Correct.
What did you see over there, like meeting the kids and the orphans?
Yeah, that was
some stories you can share.
Yeah, that was such a fulfilling trip. Like I went in December during like the Christmas holidays, and we have like as you know, like during the walk, people walk from Najaf to Karbala, and then we have a mokib there, pole 470, and we have our own mokib there, and then but it's not just the mokib, like we always say, more than a mokib, right?
Yeah.
Because we have the mokib where we host zawar and we serve zawar there, but at the same time, like during the year, we have classes that take place during the weekend for orphans, right? Like they have their regular school that they go through, and they come here to learn English, for example, or learn other factors, right? Other skills. So I was able to, and we were able to take a group of zawar to meet these orphans, right? It was so nice. Like we took about, I think there were about 20, 25 zawar that went to the mokib, and the orphans, like the Zahra Trust team there, had a whole show prepared. Wow. Like they came, they recited Quran. It was done very nicely. Like I think I have some footage maybe where we can show. It's just they're reading Quran, they're reciting nasheeds, right? And then we went upstairs to one of the classrooms, and then these zawar individually got to meet all these orphans, handed out gifts to them, shake their hand, laugh with them. I think some of them did push-up contests, right? You know what I mean? Like just to smile on their faces was just so fulfilling that, you know what, somebody's here taking care of us and they care for us. Even though we might live in North America or Europe or wherever, Australia, wherever it is, I think that they get a sense that somebody's taking care of us. And also like, at the mokib, at the back of the mokib, we have an orphan village. Okay. We have homes, 15 homes set up where orphans live, right? So, seeing these projects and seeing how much we're actually trying to help out, it was very, very fulfilling to see all of that. And I mean, just again, like I can't say it enough, like the smile on their faces, like, and a lot of people, the zawar then, because when they see it, it's a different thing, right? You hear about it, I talk to them about it. Yeah, I send pictures and videos, but when you see it live, man, it's a completely different feeling. Like I can't even put into words, but that day was very special to see the projects that we do. And then very quickly, we also have a school in Karbala called Al Rahim School. Right. So we got to take some donors there, and we were able to see they have a science lab there. They have an IT computer class there. The laptops that are there were donated from somebody from Canada. Wow, nice. And I got to see the whole thing. And then, they have a soccer field there. I got to play basketball with some of the kids, man. They have a net there.
You teach them skills there.
Yeah, exactly. I was dribbling behind the back, and they were like I was shooting threes, got some bricks. But then when they went in, they were like, what's going on here, right? So it was nice. I got to play with the kids and just see, like, and the principal there, they do a lot of work. The teachers are very qualified there. So, they take the education portion very, very seriously. It's not just like a rundown school or anything like that. School, it's a real school where people give, and they put in a lot of work in there. And to see it firsthand was just unbelievably fulfilling. Yeah,
and that's amazing. Like to put that into place, like where you have a school or a business or helping somebody run that. Like that basically compounds, because it's not like a one-time donation. Right. It's like you're setting them up for success, and maybe those orphans or all of them, inshallah, one day become successful and financially. Exactly, they become professionals in their field. Exactly, and that's sawab jariyah. Yeah, right? And now they help others, and it just sort of creates that foundation, right? It's fulfilling for me to hear that. And then I guess just curious, like, how was the spirit of the kids, because they've been through so much. I know. When you see them, like I've always heard that, even when I went to visit an orphanage back in Iraq a couple years ago, one thing I noticed was like, despite all that they've gone through, like they had this sort of spirit of strength, and they're just smiling. Like it's just fun. Like, unbelievable. How was that? And how do you? It was unbelievable. Like just like you said, like if they've gone through so much, and for them to still have a smile on their face gave me strength as a grown adult. And it's just something that is very difficult to explain, because it's like, what they say is that, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yeah. But you really get to see that. Like we're talking about kids whose parents have been massacred. Yeah. Through the organizations that were there, and it was just like for like they gave the strength, they gave happiness to those who are already in a good space, right? Like you don't have. Like if they cried throughout the whole thing, if they were sad through the whole thing, that would be understandable, because you've gone through so much, right? But the fact that they were meeting us
hugging us. Like they put scarves over our shoulders.
Right.
And at the end, when we left, they gave us gifts. And, you know, in their attempt to speak English, they're saying thank you, you know, just so we can understand. Like, the Zawar there, they didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, we didn't want to leave. Like for them, that was like, of course, outside of visiting the shrines and all that, that's always the best part of Ziyarat. But that was probably the best part of the trip, I would say, man. And just, yeah, like you said, the resolve, the perseverance, the strength that these kids have is, there's no example that I can provide to do justice, to talk about exactly how much strength they had.
Yeah,
It was just
that's inspiring, man.
phenomenal.
That's
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you can share like a story, but you've already shared a couple stories.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
If you can maybe share like another story where you felt, you know what, the donations really helped kind of move and really change the landscape of a family or a community. Do you have a story that you can share in another country maybe?
Yeah. Like right now in Pakistan, we're running a renovation project for a madrasa, a school there. Like because of the water damage there, like monsoon seasons that happened there, there's one madrasa there in Sindh, which has been completely destroyed because of the water. Like the walls are damaged and all that. So we actually have a project that we're actually renovating the place, like almost from the ground up, like putting in new walls, trying new infrastructure so that if any rain comes in, if it does rain, no rain comes in, things of that nature. So we're trying to help communities in that sense. We're trying to help education in Afghanistan. Like, as we know, like when it comes to girls in Afghanistan, unfortunately, like there's a limit where they can get educated up until I believe grade 6. And then the government doesn't really help. So we try to provide as much help as we can there. Going back to Iraq, I know family, for example, it's a family of 7. It's parents and 5 children. Literally, literally, they were living in straw, mud, and like sleeks. And the husband would work at swamp areas. You know what I mean? And that they saw, I saw videos of where they were working. So this project was actually building a home for them in the same area that they live in Diwania in Iraq. And the donations work. We were able to build homes for them. Build a new, fresh 2-story home where him, his wife, and his kids are living comfortably right now. And so it's like, you know, alhamdulillah, again, like in the beginning of this podcast, we're talking about, you know, your akhirat and finding a job where we can, you know, try to give back and help our akhirat. At the same time, like we're trying to help others do that as well through this way, right? Like if you're not able to work directly with the organization, like an employee or anything like that, well, at least, you know, if somebody from the organization reaches out, be like, hey, we have this project, can you help give? Again, $1 goes a long way, right? We're not talking about a specific amount here. Any amount is valuable in the eyes of Allah, right? So we try to give that opportunity to other people as well, alhamdulillah. And some are, and sorry, not some, but a lot of them are very, very thankful for the opportunity that is provided in front of them, and that we're able to make a difference. And then, of course, we show the pictures, we show the videos. We're a very transparent organization to say, hey, your money is being used here, because that's very, very important. We have reporting that we send to major donors. We're actually working on a report, inshallah. We should be ready for Ramadan. If not into Ramadan, where we're going to send two donors who have helped out, like yourself, inshallah, so that they can see, hey, this is what we're working on, this is what we've done.
There's a transparency for the donors,
that's
which
key.
is key.
And that's huge. That's huge. Like, and they deserve it. Everyone deserves to know where their money goes, where their money is being used, because it's easy to say, hey, we're collecting for this, and then if you follow up, you're like, what happened with this? You know, you either get ghosted sometime, or you just, you know, say, oh, yeah, I'll get back to you, and then they never.
Yeah, which is like one of the best things about you and the organization, like we get updates and you guys are so on top of the game when it comes to transparency. It's professional, it's credibility. It's like, you know, even the website itself, like I'm on the website and it's clearly you see the different projects you have and it's just so easy to read, easy to follow. So kudos again to the organization and you guys for doing that.
Our team is
a good team.
Yeah, it's a very good team. Very, very noble team, very sincere team that just works day and night for this organization. And I'm very thankful to be part of that team. And you know, I can't think of a better organization to work with, really.
Alhamdulillah. I guess to close off, I had a couple of questions. You know, as we end this conversation, what is one thing that you'd like to leave the audience with? Given that Ramadan is coming up and obviously it's a big year and a lot of things are happening around the world, what would you like to say to people listening, you know, just to close off?
Yeah, I just always remember that sustenance is with Allah, right? Whenever Allah gives to those who give. And it's been tested. I can say from a personal perspective, it's been tested. And risk and all that is all in Allah's hand. And if your intention is clean and Allah knows that, you'll be fine. Now you have the opportunity to try to give that opportunity to somebody else. There's countless ayat in the Quran, hadith, which talk about the value of giving and the reward and the thawab of giving in this month. They're there. I don't want to get into those. But we know the value of giving during the month of Ramadan. So I would advise everyone, go to our website, zahratrust.ca. Everything is on the website there. Of course, we offer tax receipts. If you go on the website, the tax receipt is automatic. You can also do e-transfers at accounts at zahratrust.ca. And reach out to me, reach out to the team. If you have any questions, we do have an email address, info@zahratrust.ca. If you ever have any questions or you need to reach out to anybody on the team, we're there. We're constantly monitoring that email. And let us know if you need anything. For sure, we're always here.
Amazing.
Open your heart during the month of Ramadan. Help the miskin as much as you can, and help their dunya by helping your akhirat.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think that's the best way to close it off.
Inshallah.
No, thank you, Abbas. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ahsan. I appreciate it, brother.
Inshallah, hopefully this podcast reaches to many people.
Inshallah.
And if you have any questions or would like to donate, we have the captions below in the link for Zahra Trust. And also you can reach out to Abbas Jafri as well. Thank you for listening and have an amazing, inshallah, successful Ramadan. May all your du'as come true. So all the best and thank you, Abbas. Take care.